Good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Rago. I'm the host of the Cheese Talk podcast. Today, I'll be talking life with one of my favorite followers, the person that I follow, Buckeye Billy. Very positive guy. Seems very energetic. He's always posting videos. But before I get to him, I want to give a shout out to the Open Network for letting me podcast under their umbrella. They are 70 followers away from hitting 523. And once they hit that, they'll be giving away an 8x10 autographed Jair Alexander picture. Billy, what's up?
What's going on? Not much.
Tell us about yourself.
My name is Billy Taylor. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. Go Bucks. Got to rep them. I'm 40 years old. Just family man. Work. Raise my kids. Coached my son in soccer this past year. Enjoyed that. It was fun.
Yeah, so what got me is a soccer thing, because I'm doing the same thing for my 11 and 12-year-old and my 12 and 15-year-old. I'm coaching them in soccer. Both my boys are on the same team, and my two girls are on the same team. What age group were you coaching?
I was coaching U13. It was from 10 to 12.
Okay, I'm coaching from 12 to 14 for my boys, and then my youngest boy got moved up because I was the coach, and that way they could be on the same team. And then my girls got paired together. One's a 7th grader, one's a freshman, and they're U19. Nice. So it's as they get old, what made you want to coach this year?
Well, I have two older daughters, and I coached them in the past in soccer. Okay. What really made me get into coaching was like just going and watching the practices, and you got to pay the money for the kids to play, and then you go and you watch the practices, and it's kind of like everybody's just hanging out, recess type, not really learning nothing. Then you get to the games, and it shows. And so instead of always being the one on the sidelines complaining, I decided I was just going to take it in my own hands and make sure that I controlled what I could control.
Yeah. For me, last year I coached my oldest boy. My youngest boy didn't play. And I didn't coach my girls, but I signed up this next year to coach my boys. And then not my girls right away, but I kept on getting the email saying, if no one steps up to be a head coach, there's going to be 20 girls that aren't going to be able to play soccer. And finally, it's like, I'll do it. Just whatever. I'll make it work. And each coach has 2 assistants. And it's been hard for me with the U19 because I've been the only coach there, because half the girls on the team are playing school soccer, and you can't mix the two together while the season's going on. Right. So once we get like 7 or 8 practices before the games start, and these girls aren't going to show up until we start the game. So I've only had 9-10 girls that practice every night. So, I mean, how are you supposed to practice with 9 or 10 girls,
Absolutely.
It's just you do some drills that are simple, get them warmed up, and just do 4-on-4 with the goalie scrimmage. What else do you do,
Yeah.
I've been lucky with my boys that my 2 assistants had been there for pretty much 95% of the practices, and some of the practices overlap with my girls and my boys, so they were there to hold the fort down until I got there. They've been the one coach in the boys team. He is an AAU basketball coach, so he knows about structure and organization and getting the kids in drills. So I'm glad for that. So that's cool.
Yeah.
How many players?
That's where I kind of lacked this year, because I didn't have any assistant coach. So, when I was coaching the younger kids, you didn't really need it in U8, U7, all that stuff, because it's pretty much they're going to do what they do. But this year I kind of found out in the spring. So come fall, I got a couple assistants lined up. So yeah, it definitely helps.
That's something that the organization up here gives you, I think, as you get older. Because it goes from having, what did I have last year on my boys team, like 15 kids. And now with both teams, I have up to 22 people on each team, which you almost need 3 coaches just to get, especially at the age they're at and their attention span. You need to
Right.
you need to have as much parental control around there as possible. Okay.
Absolutely.
How many kids did you have on your team?
I had 14.
14. Okay.
We played 7 on the field and a goalie, so 8 total.
8. Yeah, we're up to. I think we're up now to 11 on a
Yeah,
field.
I wish we had that many. I felt bad for the kids that play on these big fields, and 7v7 is like, oh my God, they're just nonstop running.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. It's kind of nice having 20 plus players because you can almost do like line switches like they do in hockey. You can just pull out 7, 8, 9 people and just switch. And the kids can get enough rest, and get back out there.
Absolutely.
What was your best? How do you keep them all engaged with just you being the coach?
Just try to small drills, like 5-10 minutes here, 5-10 minutes there. Make it competitive where they're like going against each other, but also trying to cheer each other on. So it's like there was like drills where they'd go against each other, and like the loser would have to run a lap. So it kept pretty much all of them engaged, and then once they got to their positions, then the defense was always cheering on their defensive group, and the offense was always cheering on their offensive group. So they kind of helped keep them engaged.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching your videos. Like you're on your way to the game, you're sitting there, you're like you're vibing.
Yeah, I think I got more into it than some of the kids sometimes.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. At least you're keeping yourself in check.
Right.
Are you guys still playing into the summer?
No, the season's over. My son's going to do some summer camps, but the season ended last weekend.
Okay.
And then it'll pick up again. Yeah, it's just in the spring, and then it'll pick up again in the fall, into August.
Okay. Does he do like any indoor soccer or anything like that?
He hasn't yet, but we're going to do it this year. We was going to do it last year, and he kind of got a little nervous because he had heard how rough and physical it is, and he's kind of a small guy. So he's like, I don't know if I want to go in there and get beat up, Dad. But after seeing this year, and he's 10, and he was playing with 12 and 13-year-olds, and he was getting pushed around. So he kind of needs the indoor to get a little bit more physical.
Sure, I know. Like I could definitely tell with my team, you got kids that are up to people's shoulders, and you can definitely tell there's an age difference. But I mean, they're at that awkward age where they're either at the end of the growth spurt or they're still growing, and some haven't hit it yet, so they're still kind of shorter. But you don't get better unless you go against better competition, and that's just
absolutely.
I always said iron sharpens iron. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
What sport did you play growing up as a kid?
I always played basketball, and I drove a race car.
Drove a race car? I haven't heard that yet from any of my guys. That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir. I drove a race car from the age of 4 till I was 20. I won the nationals. Won the nationals when I was 13. It's pretty fun. Traveled the country.
That's awesome. What kind of car do you drive?
I started out in quarter midgets and then moved up to sprint cars.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. Obviously, you're a Buckeyes fan. Are you a Browns fan too?
Yes, sir.
You're a Browns
unfortunately,
fan?
I have to say unfortunately. Yeah, Cavs, all of them, Ohio born.
Yeah. What do you think about Deshaun Watson? Like, as far as obviously his past is his past, whatever. But I mean, he's getting like what, $64 million a year?
Yeah, he's getting a lot.
He hasn't done jack squat.
Highest paid quarterback in the league. I don't know how he pulled it off, but yeah, I don't know. Jury's still out on him, I guess.
Yeah, he has I think he has to prove himself a little bit before
absolutely
he gets his flowers back, because he's put a shadow over that organization just by him going there and all the hoopla that was behind it, and them taking a chance on him, considering what his past was and all that. So it's crazy.
It is wild.
Is Nick Chubb going to be back for the season?
Not at the beginning of the season. He's probably going to start the season on the PUP list.
Okay, so he's got to be out, 6 games?
Yeah, the first 6, and then he should be good after that.
Yeah, that was a scary-looking injury when he got hurt. That
Yeah,
was
it was
crazy. From the outside looking in, what are your thoughts on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers?
They're a good team. It's a good organization. They're always good. They always respectable. Jordan Love's a good player. He's very talented, and the sky's the limit for him, honestly.
Yeah. Outside looking in, coming from a team that has had like a carousel of quarterbacks. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to whatever.
No,
What do you think of when you see you go from Favre to Rodgers to Love? What I mean, do you think they're just better at developing quarterbacks? I mean,
how do you guys do it? I don't know. It's jealousy. I see it quarterback after quarterback comes to Cleveland to die, I guess. I don't know. It's jealousy. I see it.
Yeah. I was kind of talking to somebody, and I mean, it kind of makes sense. You had Favre who kind of came in. I mean, he didn't play behind anybody really in Green Bay. He came right in, and when McCauley got hurt, but then you had Aaron Rodgers sat behind him for 4 years. Right. And the same thing with Love and Rodgers. So I think you get a lot of these rookies that are really, really good in college, and they get thrown on the spot, and they don't perform up to what we expect. Instead of sitting them behind a decent starter for them to learn, and then let them come out there and see what they got versus throwing them into the fire right away. I mean, look at Justin Fields in Chicago. I mean, that was
exactly
just terrible. I mean, I feel bad for him, but I think he's going to go to Pittsburgh, and he's going to do something in Pittsburgh, I think. I mean, I know
unfortunately.
But I mean, being a Buckeye, he was the one Buckeye quarterback that I was actually afraid to play in the NFL because he has the height, he has the arm, he can run. I mean, he's quick on his feet. Other quarterbacks coming out of Ohio State, I wasn't really. Like Cardale Jones, and I'm not going to bring up Haskins because that's just a whole nother. I don't even talk about that. It's unfortunate what happened to him, but you look back to what was it? Who was that number 11? He was a quarterback. No, not Terrell Pryor, but there was something Smith. Troy Smith went to the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys didn't really pan out to do anything. Justin Fields was the one quarterback that I could see in college doing the transition to the NFL and being successful, and the Bears this screwed him up so bad, and I felt bad for him.
I completely agree with that.
But the Browns, I mean, their defense is decent. They got Zadarius Smith still, right?
Yes, sir.
Former Packer, and they got who else do they have on their defense?
Myles Garrett on the other side.
Okay.
Then Grant, the safety, Grant Telpitt, Greg Newsome. Got a Buckeye at cornerback.
Yeah, I think. Don't they have Amari Cooper too at receiver?
Yeah. Yep, Amari Cooper, and they just got Jerry Jeudy from Denver, which jury's still out on him as well. Yeah.
I mean, they have potential to be, maybe sleepers in the AFC and, be that team that just sneaks up and beats somebody,
Absolutely.
We'll see what happens. I hope the best for them unless they play the Packers. That's
I hear you.
Okay, I got some random questions. Well, actually, Ohio State. I got some questions about Ohio State. Who is your favorite Buckeye of all time?
My favorite Buckeye of all time? It's tough. I would go with Braxton Miller, I guess, because obviously I named my son after him. He was an electrifying athlete, fun to watch.
Man, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's fun. Close second would be Zeke. I liked watching Zeke. He was a good player as well.
Yeah. What do you make of this whole NIL deal?
It's wild. I'm glad we decided to join the party instead of step back and let it develop. We decided to get out in front of it, but it's getting wild, especially paying these players all this money before they even play a down on college football.
I was just reading an article. I just saw the headline. Don't know how much truth it has to it, but one of Deion's kids, I think that Shiloh Sanders, is facing like a lawsuit for like almost $12 million, and he had to file for bankruptcy.
I've seen that.
That's crazy.
It's wild. Yeah.
It's, you don't know. There's a lot of people that say that Ohio State was paying their players before the NIL came true. I don't know how much truth there is to that. I mean, there's shady stuff happening in every college. You just don't hear about it, until it makes the head or somebody gets pissed off and they narc on somebody. And I just hope Wisconsin can, quit getting blown up by Ohio State. I'm sick of seeing it.
Right.
Oh man, it's crazy. All right. So when you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be an NBA basketball player.
How tall are you?
About 5'4", 5'5". No, the height didn't work out with me there.
Okay.
I was cool. Determined that's what I was going to be, though.
Yeah. Hey, look at Muggsy Bogues made it.
Right.
He's 5'3".
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to rival him for shortest ever.
him and Spud Webb.
Yeah.
What's your number one biggest pet peeve?
Biggest pet peeve? Probably being on time. Just I hate being late to anything, and it's just bad punctuation and grammar just to show up late. I like to be early to everything, so I'd say being on time.
I get that too. I know my wife can see the look in my eye when we're running late. She because I'm always early to stuff too,
Right.
And just knowing that it's like, it's one of my biggest pet peeves, that and people that drive slow in the fast lane.
Oh, absolutely.
Or they speed up to cut in front of you and then they slow down.
Yeah.
Or like when they're taking a right and there's a line, the line kind of goes for they can move over to make that turn, but they stay in the lane and make that turn. And on top of that, when they're doing that and not using their blinker.
Yes.
All of a sudden they do the quick sudden stop, and it's like, man, that drives me nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree with those.
What is your biggest passion? I have to assume being a father, you're married, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Biggest passion is probably my kids and my wife. Just everything I do is for them. Honestly, it's fun to be around them, just living the life. Yeah,
I'd have to say the same. Being around my kids and my wife, and not every day's golden, but at the end of the day, it's worth it.
Yes, sir.
Next thing before you know it, they're going to be out of the house, and it's just going to be my wife and I, and
Yeah, I'm getting close to that. I already have one that's out of the house. One that's 17 will be 18 in December, and then I got my son just turning 11 next week. So
yeah, I have as of right now, a freshman, a 7th grader, a 5th grader, a 4th grader, and a 1st grader. So
nice.
So I have a few years yet until that happens, but
right,
it'll go before you know it.
Oh, it does.
I think that answers my next question on what gives you motivation every day is your family.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my motivation and my drive.
I'm not trying to be a creeper, but do you work for Amazon?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I know sometimes you take pictures, I think it's in the warehouse or in the
right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be like, hey, I'm sitting here stalking you. I just
no,
trying to think of talking subjects and. All right.
Yeah.
I don't do one of these without asking somebody, what's your favorite kind of cheese?
My favorite kind of cheese, Swiss.
Ooh, that's. I like Swiss too, but it wouldn't be one of my favorites. But cheese is cheese, and I can't discriminate.
It's big over where you're at, though, isn't it?
Cheese, oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure is. I could eat cheese
Nice.
for every meal.
That's awesome.
Are there a lot of dairy farms out by you? I mean, you're in the city, right?
Yeah, I'm in the city.
Okay.
There's some in the outskirts of the city and stuff. There ain't many dairy farms around, though.
Yeah, there's a bunch in Wisconsin.
No.
Well, that's where we get all our milk from to make our cheese, and
Nice.
I actually went with my first grader to a field trip about 3 weeks ago to a dairy farm just south of us, and they had like 1,400 cows. They're all female cows because only females can milk, and it was strictly they milked for cheese. And they said every 7 hours they have like this big. I describe it like a merry-go-round where the cows go on it. They get hooked up to milk, and they do it every 7 hours. And every time they milk, they make 86 to 86 pounds of milk they get out of a cow per cow 3 times a day. And they had like a 36,000 gallon temperature controlled silo that the milk truck backs up to like whatever times a day or a week or whatever, and it just empties out into this milk truck. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild. I never knew that.
Yeah. Like these farmers, they're working pretty much. They have somebody on staff. It's not the same person, but they work like 8-hour shifts, but someone's constantly there, and they have like these collars on the cows that can take like their body temperature, and like if the cow isn't moving, then they'll come check on the cow and see like what's wrong with it. They can diagnose what's wrong, like if it's not walking because it has like a hurt foot, so they can call the vet. And they're monitoring these cows, and they get alerts to their cell phones with all this information on the cow, and it's crazy like what they put dollar wise into these farms. But it's an investment for them,
For sure.
I think I know the answer to this too. Would you rather throw away money or love?
Money.
Yeah. Yep. That's how I would answer it too. Just because, at the end of the day, money ain't everything. It's
nope.
You got people who always have to have the best of the best, and think they're better than everybody else because of money. But money can't buy happiness in my eyes.
That's the truest statement there is.
Money's gonna get someone that's gonna come take advantage of you and just break you down even more. So
exactly. Yep. Yes, sir.
What was your favorite toy as a child?
My favorite toy as a child. That's a good question. I'd probably say like the slot track cars.
Oh yeah. Then you can smell that. You can smell that with,
right.
Oh yeah.
I was real into that. I thought I could like work on them and fix them up and all that, modify them and stuff. Little did I know I was tearing them up. My dad was getting a little aggravated after keep replacing them. But yeah, that was probably the favorite toy I had.
Yeah, I liked the little like G.I. Joes, like the Hot Wheel cars and stuff like that. Oh my God, Micro Machines. Remember those?
Yeah, I do.
They have like the lunchbox like carrier and have all the Micro Machines in it, and
yeah. Nice.
If you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, what would you say?
Stop hating everybody.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to live life. We're all trying to survive the day and get to the next day. Look up. Stop always being so consumed with your phone and technology and everything. And just enjoy and be nice to everybody, because you don't know what they're going through and what's going on in their life.
Right. And I'm only asking you these questions because I ask questions based on who I'm. I know you're always a positive person, and I figured that was how you're going to answer, and it worked out. You got to kind of base your questions based off of who you're talking to, and did a little research, and that's a good answer because you don't know what someone's going through. That's it. That's just how it is. I've learned more and more as I got older to hold the door for somebody and just say hi to somebody and ask them how their day is going, and if they're having a bad day, try to pick them up. That's all you can do.
Yeah, that's hey, nothing more true than that. We've had an experience close to home, with my mother-in-law and all that. We lost her to suicide, so and she never really showed any signs like that would be the last person you'd expect. So it kind of really opened my eyes to you never know what anybody's really dealing with truly.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. You just don't know. And if you have any suspicions, always try to talk to somebody and be that shoulder for them,
For sure.
For sure. How can you tell if somebody has a sense of humor?
How can I tell? It's usually pretty easy to tell. It's usually written on their face. They usually have that kind of like a smile, kind of maybe. Just can tell. It's hard to explain. It's just a whole feel and vibe.
The vibe you get from somebody?
Yeah. You can tell first off, within 5 seconds of talking to somebody, yeah, this guy's funny. He's got a sense of humor. This guy's pretty straightforward type.
Yeah. For me, it might take more than 5 seconds, but it's like when you're talking to somebody for the first time, I always try to be kind of a little funny at the beginning just to see how they react. Yeah. And you can kind of get that idea, whether they're just give you short answers or you kind of catch them smirking at what you're saying. Then you kind of know that it's in them, but you just gotta, you just gotta kind of tread on thin water there for a second. Cause you don't know if you're going to get somebody that's going to, not get your humor and it's going to make for a long day or a long conversation. Right. So you've had kids. What have you learned about life from kids?
What have I learned? I learned a lot. Biggest thing I learned is just always be there, always support them no matter what. No matter, failures, positive, you got to be there through it all for them to really buy in and care and know what you're talking about and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's what I've learned is, you look at them and if they do something that you think is bad, you got to, I have this problem myself, but you got to step back and kind of how was I when I was a kid?
Exactly.
I'm sure my parents wanted to kick my ass a few times, but it's just they're just a kid being a kid, and sometimes that just you expect them to be an adult when you're doing stuff with them or talking to them or don't slam the refrigerator door. It's just little stupid stuff like that, It's
right.
You just gotta realize that they're kids and they're not at our level, obviously, because they're a lot younger. And
of course,
do you care what others think about you?
I absolutely do not.
Perfect.
I'm rare, I guess, in that. I tell my wife that all the time. She's like, Billy, what are they going to think about? I don't care. If I like it, it doesn't matter. Whether you like it or not, it's me.
Yeah, I've had problems with our neighbors. There's maybe one neighbor by us that we get along with. This house is all around me, but it's just they're some of the ones that think they're so much better than everybody else. And I'm just going to live the life that I want to live, not care what they think about me. I got one neighbor that was out power mowing his yard last night, at 8:30 at night. He just mowed it 3 days ago, and they have a his and hers. They got their own leaf blowers they use to blow out their garage. And it's just You know, then you got
Oh,
kids down
wow.
the street that are you know just harassing my kids and this and that. We go down the street, we drive, and they mockingly wave at us, like whatever. And it's just they have like a drinking cult where they walk across the street to each other's driveways and they're
Oh,
walking and drinking and it just drives me nuts. It's like
this
the day they get that for sale sign in the front yard, I'm just gonna throw a huge party.
right. That sounds about like about around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I really don't care. It's just I laugh whenever I drive by them. I mean, I have tinted windows in my car, but like if they see me, I'm just smiling. Just
Yeah.
because I just can't stand them. I really can't.
That's funny.
What is your favorite song?
My favorite song, probably "California Love" by Tupac.
Okay, it's a good one. I like "Life Goes On."
Okay.
Well, yeah, he is he your favorite artist too?
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Yep, he another one gone too soon, but a lot of his lyrics were still resonate to everyday, everyday
Absolutely.
struggles with everybody. It's it's kind of ironic that stuff that he's talking about back then is like coming more and more true as you break it down and study what he actually said.
Right.
Favorite pizza topping?
Favorite pizza topping? Tie between sausage and mushrooms.
Okay, that's a good one. My wife likes both of those, so I like the deluxe pizza. Everything on it
Oh,
except
okay.
anchovies.
Right.
Hard shell or soft shell?
Hard shell for sure.
Yep, same here. One recent trend you cannot stand.
One recent trend. Ah. I don't know. I would say the made up Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, I guess.
I thought that was entertaining.
It was. It got a little old quick.
Yeah, it was just crazy how like one was doing a diss with the other, and at the same exact time, the one that was writing the diss towards the other one, they're writing the diss at the same. I mean, it's just crazy how like if
How
anything,
fast it was coming out.
yeah, it just drew more popularity than anything. I think it made them both, but I don't know. It's like a lot of this stuff, a lot of these hip hop artists, they talk about stuff that they didn't grow up around. A lot of them do talk about stuff that they grew up around, and one of them that is, I think, down to the core is Kendrick Lamar. He's from
Oh, for
Compton,
sure.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you got Drake who played some dude in a wheelchair on Disney. It's
On
like
Disney, yeah.
he has no idea, like whatever. He has a voice and he has a ghostwriter.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
in my eyes, when this stuff started going, I kind of the needle was kind of in the middle and it kind of went one way for Kendrick Lamar. And I've been listening more of him,
I would say the same, yeah.
And I mean, you think about some of what song was it? Not Like Us, that song, when he brought up like the part about he said A minor, and then you look back at all the different pictures and the videos, and it all makes sense.
Oh, for sure.
Like Drake's going after all these like young girls,
Yep.
And then what Drake was talking about going to Oakland. If he went to Oakland, he'd end up getting freaking jumped.
Yeah, he wouldn't last. He's a fake tough guy.
Yeah, he is, and he hides behind his security.
For sure.
I've got like 6-7 more questions left for you. Then I'll let you go on with your night because I know you're an hour ahead of me in time. So I'll let you enjoy the rest of your night here. But I got a few more questions left for you.
Sounds good.
What do you like to do for fun?
What do I like to do for fun? I usually, if I'm not taking my son to play soccer or practice soccer with him, I like to go fishing. I like to watch sports, basketball or football. Um, I try to go to as many crew games as I can because it's right down the road from us. So Major League Soccer, we was able to take my son to the Major League Championship soccer game last year. That was a blast.
Cool.
So I just try to stay busy.
Yeah, I like watching sports and coaching. I also coach basketball. I'm coaching
Okay.
my youngest boy in football this fall, so that's a first for him playing football. But we'll see how it goes. I was always
Right.
worried about my kids playing football because compared to when we were younger, people got bigger, faster, stronger. There's more training programs. There's more of like, the AAU type circuit where, these kids just are playing 24/7,
Year
and it's just,
round, yeah.
you got to keep your head in the swivel, man, because you're going to get your lights knocked out. So
Yeah.
we'll
That's
see
why
how
I was
long that
kind of
lasts.
that's why I'm
But
kind
I'm
of
not
glad
going
my
to.
son is like into soccer more than football. So I ain't got to really worry about that. I asked him if he wanted to play football because he goes outside and plays with his friends some, but he has no real interest in playing it.
Yeah, I'll see how my son does. Just got to teach him to be the one taking people's heads off, and he won't have a problem.
Right.
Your favorite place to vacation?
My favorite place by far was Clearwater Beach.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. The sand, everything about it is just amazing.
Yeah, I don't like the major like touristy spots like the tropical spots. There's a place in north central or northern Wisconsin called Minocqua. It's like
Okay.
if you go, like if you know where like Wausau is, it's like this is Wisconsin. It's like right, up in the northern part of Wisconsin. It's just like laid back and all mom and pop restaurants and like it's just you know just out in the north. We call it the Northwoods. So it's just a nice place to go and get away from the city life. And do you have a morning routine?
Yeah, I get up, I get in the shower, get dressed, and then I go get an iced cappuccino from Tim Hortons every morning.
That's like a gas station, or is that no? That's a
uh,
restaurant, ain't it?
Tim Hortons, it's like a donut shop. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I get up, make coffee, get my kids up, get them off to school, and then I kind of chill the rest of the day. So
Nice.
yeah. What do people most what do people misunderstand about you the most?
Um, I guess my realness, because like I'm honest, I'm real. Like I told you before, I'm me, whether you like it or not. So some people kind of misunderstand that as like I may come off as a dick sometimes. Excuse my French,
Yeah.
but like you kind of get what you get with me. Like
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, that's kind of like me. I come off like kind of like a hard ass, I guess, but I'm not gonna, fall and get caught off guard, especially if it comes to my children. I'm like I've always said, I'm not afraid to go behind bars for my kids if I have to. That's just my
100%.
mentality. You know?
Exactly.
So, so once you tell somebody that, then hopefully by then they get the hint about me.
Right. That's funny.
Like when my kids were having problems in school, I had to go to the police department a couple of times and just kind of somewhat do like a report because it was some of the stuff that was happening wasn't cool at all. And I told the police, I said, I'm not afraid to go I'm not afraid to go behind bars for my kids. They're like, I'm like,
right. You sound exactly like me. That's funny.
What job have you had that's been your favorite?
Working at Amazon. I've worked there
Yeah.
about going on 4 years this fall. I just love my company offers like it's called roll up pay. So like you get your route in a day and you get paid for that route you deliver. So if I deliver my route in 4 hours, I'm getting paid for my 10 hours and I'm at home.
Yeah.
So each week, I hustle out there. So I'm working maybe 20 to 23 hours a week and getting paid for 40. So
It's awesome.
it's like stealing almost.
Yeah. Is it actually like Amazon or is it a contracted to Amazon or from, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, it's a contractor.
Okay. What you
Amazon
guys have like the
Amazon
bigger,
don't employ any delivery drivers through Amazon. It's all contracted, but we drive the Amazon branded vehicles.
yeah, you guys have the big ass warehouses, right?
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
like 10, it's like 10 city blocks big and
Yeah, we park all our vehicles and everything inside. It's nice. Temperature controlled. It's real nice.
are they like, do you drive like the newer looking ones or more like a boxy type looking?
We've got some of those. We haven't went to those yet. I'm in the Mercedes vans,
Okay. How's
but
that? Nice.
yeah, I like it a lot. It's real
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I see they're everywhere. The one thing that drives me nuts about Amazon and actually like FedEx and everybody, they like if they're going to a house on a certain side of the street, even if the traffic goes the other way, they pull up on the curb
Yeah.
facing the road. I mean, it ain't a big deal, but when they start going down the road doing that, and I don't know.
Yeah, when you go to
Instead of this part, I don't know. Whatever. That's just me. If money was no object, where would you live?
Um, probably a tropical island somewhere.
I'm thinking Italy.
Okay.
That'd
I
be
was thinking more like a Bora Bora, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, if money was no object, I think I would definitely be on an island somewhere over in Italy or
Nice.
just, getting that Italian pie every day and Italian food. And
Right.
I've always been intrigued because I've did a thing like on Ancestry years ago, and that's where my dad's side of the family came over from, was from Italy to Chicago. So I've always been curious about my ancestors over there and what they did.
Cool.
So, all right, Billy, last question here. What is your life motto? I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but
My life motto, work hard, play harder is really what I live by. Like, just be happy, be nice. Like you said, every day ain't the greatest, but it's your day. So
yeah,
that's it.
Well, perfect, man. Well, listen, I want to thank you for being on tonight. It's awesome.
I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again down the road. It ain't that hard of a setup to do. Just send you the link and you go on there and type in your name and wait for me to add you to the stage, and it worked out pretty good, I think.
Yeah, it was easy.
So, I'll have to think of a different group of questions for you though. Maybe I'll get you on during college football season.
Yeah, there you go. That would be fun.
All righty. Well, where can people find you on Twitter?
At Buckeye Billy, 4T.
What does the 4T stand for?
That was my race car number.
Okay.
Number
4T?
4, and then the number 4, and then the last name, Taylor. T for Taylor.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll let you get on with your night. Thanks again, and on Wisconsin.
All right, go Bucks. See ya.
Go later.